Welcome back to Cat in the Chats. We are happy to have you here in our new live studio. We imagined this space being, more zoomed out so you could really see the chicness of this mid-century modern couch, along with the velveteen curtains with a chartreuse tassel. Unfortunately, logistics served not in our favor.
No.
Regardless, I'm here with Olivia. Happy to have you back. I had Olivia on last week, and I feel like we got a good yin last week. 2 months ago, which is the duration between the podcast we recently posted. So it's been a minute, but long story short, I post on my own time. Like it or leave it.
Hey guys, what do y'all call your fans in your community? Like the Catinators?
I don't like that. I think it should
The kitties?
No, because that sounds inherently sexual in a weird way. I think that it should be like, I've thought about it before, Chatty Cathy's.
I like it.
Yeah,
Hey,
how do you guys
Chatty
feel about
Cathy's.
that? Hey, Chatty Cathy's. I don't like the name Kathy for a shortened Catherine, but in this circumstance, I feel like it's fitting.
Yeah, Catherine's also one of those names that in the course of history you can tell what age they were born because the nicknames are so timely. Like it goes from Kathy to Katie to Kat.
And I know a lot of Katie's that's real name is Catherine, but I feel like that's more common with a Catherine that starts with a K.
It is.
Yeah, I'm going to turn more towards you just so this becomes more colloquial. I feel as though I'm in a formal setting like an interview. Jumping right into it, we have a few updates on stories we previously touched on. These are things that have been, swirling in media, things that have been recurring. Constant news cycle is just pushing out these themes. We're going to talk about Wicked, and not for a long time, but
We just
long
gotta
enough.
touch on
Long
it.
enough. I mean, I did see it twice or 3 times. Too many. No offense.
Whoa.
I saw it the one time. Overall, I think I know what Kat is going to say, and I'm going to contradict her future statement. I
Period.
actually enjoyed the show for what it was. I did really enjoy Cynthia Erivo's performance as Elphaba.
Undeniably excellent.
I was really hesitant going into it, seeing her press. I didn't think I would be able to separate the character, but I thought she actually fully embodied.
I think I like her.
Yeah.
I like her in real life.
Oh, see,
what do you mean?
Now I think seeing her as Elphaba, I can respect her game. I was so hesitant that she was gonna bring something to the character
That was
Some-
nuanced and fresh
some,
in a weird degree.
woke take on it. I don't know. I was just so nervous and apprehensive just
Yeah.
seeing how she was approaching it with such sensitivity. But I think she brought the right amount of sensitivity to the role. And it was more
Yeah.
so coming at it from the take of this is just a girl. She might not be that girl though.
I'm just a girl in the world. So, undeniably, I think that Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo are once in a generation, once in a lifetime talents. They are so phenomenal, gifted beyond belief, truly. And that has nothing to do with my take on the movie. I felt bored.
Whoa.
I know, and I don't like to be a contrarian, and I don't like to say things that are the unpopular opinion. I usually speak with the masses. But for this scenario, I think it's because I saw it so many times that I remember it's because I had no base knowledge of the play.
Wait, you've never seen Wicked?
Had no idea what the plot was.
What's crazy is we talked about this last time, which means I've definitely heard this information before, and yet it's as if it's the
It
first
feels
time it's
new to
hitting
me
my...
too. So I feel like we were gearing up to go see it, but I didn't really preface with the knowledge that I had never had it in my past.
I think that Wicked can be a bit of a whirlwind for people that have never seen it, and all of a sudden there's this animal rights plot point that you're wait, what?
Oh, that's so true. Yes, I was justice for the goat teacher. Was he a goat?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the goat. Justice for this goat teacher. He seemed like he had good intentions, and I felt really bad when he let out that one last roar.
Oh,
I know.
The ba.
I know.
And I will say we're only seeing half of the actual play.
That's true.
Musical.
That's
so when
true.
you're seeing it on Broadway, you get the whole story. Whereas this was just kind of leaving you really on the edge of your seat. Also,
Yeah.
I went to go see it with a couple friends, and neither of them knew that it was a Part 1 movie.
What?
And I went in fully with that information.
You live under a rock?
Yeah.
Okay.
but they seem to both
okay.
be completely surprised by that.
Patrick Starr.
I do think the movie went by very fast, though, for a 3-hour runtime. Oh, no,
You
we got
believe?
another contradiction.
I don't know.
I guess we'll just have to agree to disagree here.
Yes.
I
and I respect everyone's opinions.
want to
obviously.
segue into something, though.
Please.
Because
Wait.
whether or not what you think about Wicked, the fact that it has lost the best musical of the year to Amelia Perez, which I have seen not only get horrific reviews.
Have you seen it?
I have not seen it. I have seen clips of it.
We need to not talk about it until we watch it and we come back with our thoughts, because my sister just watched it and she said no way it should have even been nominated. But regardless, she said she got something out of it, but the plot was just like a little different than she anticipated, even though I kind of knew that the plot was centric around like a trans individual.
Yeah.
And we are all for trans rights, absolutely. But in the sense of Amelia Perez, didn't you hear that it was like made by a French?
Yeah, I've actually heard that the trans community does not like the movie and are offended by the movie. I've also heard that the Mexican community is offended by the movie. And those are the two groups. So I'll take their word for it. I mean, that's just my opinion.
How are the demographics going to deny that the awesomeness of this film if it's like so well awarded? It's ranked as like the most highly awarded movie.
Yeah, the most nominated Oscar film this year. It also has 2.3 stars on Letterboxd currently. And could I read
out of 5?
Out of 5. Could I read a couple reviews?
Yeah.
One Letterboxd user said, if aliens ever came to Earth, this is the first movie I'd show them to make them leave. And then another reviewer said, I'm sorry, Madam Web, perhaps I treated you too harshly. And Madam Web was like critically declaimed for being written by AI, to give you an idea.
Critically declaimed. That's hilarious.
So
I respect that the people leave those like funny reviews, because I feel like it's a good gauge to know what you're going to get yourself into. As of right now, I haven't seen it, but my sister told me that it's entirely in Spanish, so you need to read the subtitles. I know that I don't have the bandwidth, a classic corporate term, to understand it. And by understand it, I mean look up at the screen and not on my phone when I'm watching a movie. So I need something I can audibly hear while I'm doing something else.
Has also been critiqued by the Spanish-speaking community.
Yeah, and I understand that Selena Gomez isn't a native like Spanish speaker. She's not completely fluent. You know, she has a Spanish album, and I know she speaks to that community and her work and stuff, and she's a philanthropist. I'm grateful for her service. You know, she just recently posted a video we won't even touch it. If you know, you know. When you know, you know.
But I actually don't think that's as much as a diss on Cell as the director, because the director doesn't speak Spanish, so it's hard for him to direct the cadence on like words that she's saying.
Yeah, how are you going to know when to put the emphasis on what syllables and how to really portray a message
if you don't understand what the actor is saying?
That's like having a non-English speaking individual
teach you statistics in college, because that happened to me.
That happened to me. I think that's just I think that's a worldwide phenomenon. Yeah. I ended up switching majors.
I did too. I was a stats major.
That's all it took. Grateful for their service in the academia world.
Yeah, me too. And honestly, my take on that is, like, my specific stats teacher was actually quite a good teacher. Once I was with him,
once
like,
you got
one-on-one.
Yeah, you have to.
It was just like in the class. Yeah, you have to have an open mind there. So you might notice we're wearing some sweatshirts that are pretty timely for the present conversation, as we are wearing the NFC and AFC championship team.
Comment who you want to win.
Woo, go Birds.
Everyone's going to say the Eagles. Something I found recently, my dad being a Commanders fan, a passionate Commanders fan. Some say Redskins, some say Commanders, some say Washington football team. They've been branded a lot of times. I think they need to really lock into their branding, because it feels a little skewed, and with the current president, you never know what's capable nowadays. So anyways, it's a free-for-all. So anyways, I recently watched the football games. It was the Bills versus the Redskins, or
Bills Chiefs.
Don't cancel me.
And the Eagles Commanders.
Okay, I was completely wrong. Eagles Commanders, and Commanders have beat the Eagles before. Let's just note that.
Yeah, as of recently, they actually did beat the Birds.
There's something I want to acknowledge, though. Is the largest football fan base the Eagles?
Okay, so
I think it might be.
No. Ooh. Probably the largest, most popular team, if I were to just throw a guess out there, would be the Cowboys or the Steelers.
No way, the Cowboys. You're saying that because DCC.
No, I'm not. I mean, that's part of it. Like, that's part of the reason why.
The fact that I even know who Jerry Jones is says something.
I mean, everybody comes out of the woodworks when a team gets popular. All of a sudden, there's all these Kansas City like fans and Bills fans. And I'm not coming for y'all, Bills Mafia. Like, I know that some of y'all out there are loyal down to the bone.
There's a Bills bar in Charlotte.
Yeah,
you know
there
that?
is,
Like, we
yeah.
tried to go on the night of the game, and we didn't realize that there was such a big crowd.
Yeah,
like,
no,
we
the
realized the
Bills
line
Mafia
was out the
shows
door.
up. But the Eagles, we are a very passionate fan base, and we come out and we like show up. And also, there are a lot of Philly transplants in
You know.
North Carolina. There's specifically a lot of Philly transplants. Like I'm myself. You may
Your
know
family,
this.
but it makes sense for you to be a fan. For me, I'm like wondering, where did all these people come from if they are not from Philly?
The reason why there's so many Eagles fans is just because there's a lot of Philly transplants, like in this area particularly. And even though you might not know the person is from Philly, like I myself was born in Philadelphia. Like I'm a
So you can spot one from a mile away.
can I spot one from usually they'll just like tell me, like you'll just ask like what part of Philly you're from,
Yeah.
and then they'll say like, oh my dad, oh my grandpa, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Or,
yeah.
like,
you have
oh,
some type of
on.
lineage that
There's for sure
dictates
lineage.
your fan base.
And the thing about the Eagles is that like it is truly like you were born into it. I would never become a Panthers fan, even though I now live in Charlotte. I'll root for the Panthers, but the Eagles are my team.
That makes
my
sense.
kids, like I will make.
You want them
the
to have, like,
and
Eagles
they'll
baby onesie?
Yeah, like they'll never be from Philadelphia, but they
Okay.
will be Eagles fans. They won't be.
we should
fans.
actually Google like largest fan base.
Yeah, largest fan bases.
I'm gonna do that right
the Eagles
now,
are just,
actually.
like the most loyal. Philly fans
I'll
are
edit this in.
notoriously loyal. Oh, and remember, like a few years ago, and this is how fast like fan bases rise and fall. Remember
The
when
rise
like
and fall of the Midwest fan base.
you could look down the street and you would see 3 Patriots. Like,
Because of like Tom Brady and them being consistently in the Super Bowl.
yeah, consistently good. I don't see anybody showing up in Patriots gear nowadays. Like
That's
people
so
are
true.
just fair weather fans.
I just looked up the top 5 football team fan bases in the NFL. For starters, I have one segue real quick before
Okay.
we get into this. There's the NFC and the AFC.
Yeah, those are just
American
the-
Football Conference, National
And the
Football
national,
Conference.
those are just the 2 divisions, so it just means like it
why
would be
why aren't we all part of one?
because
The nation is America.
I understand that, but it's really just like a bracket thing and making sure that teams aren't going all over the country to play each other. It's similar to like
it's sectioned by like if you're on the this portion of the US or that portion, it's like east and west.
like I don't want to speak to it like too concretely because
geographically.
like I don't know if it's like strictly geographic, but it's mainly just so that way like teams are consistently playing each other and there's conferences, divisions, similar to like college football. How there's,
Interesting. Like
the
SEC, ACC. Okay, okay. I have a lot of questions. This year was the first year I've ever watched football, and I know that's crazy.
No,
pick me,
it's
choose
okay.
me, love me.
Football
But
is so fun to watch. Right? Like I don't understand why people don't just always watch it all the time.
for me, I always thought that's for boys. Kill me if you want. But my dad was always a passionate football watcher, but if a game came on, he's going to the local pub. He's getting out of the house because we're watching Housewives downstairs. So this year I have a few takeaways of like significant things that stuck out to me as a first-time watcher. But before we do that, let me tell you the top 5 fan bases. Number 1, you are correct. It's the Dallas Cowboys. As a Commanders fan / Redskins / Washington football team, they're the sworn enemy.
Yeah. As an Eagle,
Who's y'all's rival?
the Cowboys.
What?
We do not.
We're the same rival?
Yeah, we're in the same conference. It's the Commanders, the Eagles, the Giants, and the Cowboys. We're all in the same
There's
conference.
only 5? I thought there would be
4.
like, wait, what's the...
So there's like multiple conferences and then 2 divisions. So we're in the NFC, and like the Chiefs are in the AFC, and so that's why
Who
like
else is in the AFC? Do we know?
the Bills, the Bengals.
Bengals. I thought they
The
were like supposed to be so good.
Ravens.
Ravens, I hear a lot of things about the Ravens.
I think the Steelers, like I know the Steelers and the Ravens are rivals.
I'm shocked that the Steelers fan base is not another one that is up there in the, well, it might be.
Is it?
It might
Let's
be.
find out.
So number 1 is Dallas Cowboys. Number 2 is New England Patriots.
Can I guess?
Yes,
so
please guess.
I think the last 3 are the I don't know what the order is, but the Packers, the Steelers, and the Bills.
Forget about the Packers, but I know that Harry Styles really liked to wear a jersey or 2 from there. Third, which this is interesting because I just said this, the Steelers.
Yay!
I'm not surprised. 4th is the Packers. You're correct. 5th and what the heck? The last one is the Denver Broncos. And no offense if you're a Denver Broncos fan,
That's very surprising.
but It says, despite a somewhat tumultuous history, they've managed to captivate the hearts of football enthusiasts worldwide.
I don't know about
They're
that.
forgettable. Sorry.
If you had asked like 5th grade us, who was like the most popular team, do you know what I probably would have said?
I would have probably said the Patriots.
I would have said the Colts. Because remember, there was that one 5th grade teacher who was obsessed with the Colts.
Who are the Colts? Is that a team?
Yeah, the Indianapolis Colts.
Are
They had Peyton Manning on.
Oh, okay. They're forgettable. Do they still play? Do they exist?
Like, do they exist?
Like,
Wait.
did they get dissolved? I'm
They
googling them.
definitely
What's
exist,
it called?
but-
You don't hear nothing about a Colt.
But they definitely still exist. They're
What's
just
it called?
like
Indiana
irrelevant.
something Colts.
Indianapolis Colts.
Indianapolis.
They just didn't make the playoffs this year, and so it's hard to like remember teams that didn't make the playoffs unless they have a sexy quarterback like
So
Joe
true.
Burrow.
So true. Like Joe Burrow. No, I was locked in with his icy tips.
Look at their like full schedule, just like
Oh, they exist.
certainly.
Interesting. So here's a few of my takeaways.
Yeah, I'm actually so curious to like
As a
hear.
first-time watcher, one is this is a whole lot of standing around. Get to business. Get back in position. I'm tired of looking at Joe Schmo on the sidelines
Unless it's
standing
Joe
around in a
Burrow.
headset unless it's Joe Burrow. Anyways, I'm so tired of it panning to the head coach and he has a clipboard and he's like he's telling the play to somebody in a headset.
Except you can't see it. You can't
exactly
read
like
the lips.
it's a lot of standing around. And another takeaway, and I hate to be so negative, is oh my god, there's so many commercials. There are so many commercials. It made me realize my attention span is very small because I hate commercials, and watching football live was like I was ticking the whole time. Like I had a tick because it was so irritating. But another thing I've noticed as just a viewer or onlooker is there's a whole lot of pointing. If somebody's got on top of a ball and they do one big pylon, each team is like, it's on our side, it's on our side, it's on our side, it's on our side, because they're trying to sway the ref or whatever, and then they do all these zoom-ins, replays, and judgment. They're called like booth calls or something. Is that wrong?
Booth reviews, I think.
Whatever it is. Anyways, whole lot of pointing going on. But other than that, some of the players that I keep hearing are Lamar
Saquon
Jackson.
Barkley? Oh.
Yes. I didn't know about him until this game, though.
Oh my god, he is the
I
best.
saw him lifting up his daughter.
Oh my god, he's like Philly's national treasure right now.
No, I've been seeing a lot of TikToks with him, and
He's the best. A really
He
standout
seems
guy
cool.
too. Like
Yeah.
a good guy, not
How
just
old
a
is
great
he?
player.
like 30.
Yeah. He was on the Giants for 6 years and they never did anything with him. And then he was like,
Oh.
"Can you guys give me more money?" And the Giants were like, "No, and in fact, no one will give you more money. So why don't you just like try the market and then come back to us and then you'll see." And
Good for him. He's in his reputation era.
And they were doing the HBO Max show Hard Knocks.
I don't know what it
as
is.
this was going down, it's like when they record the teams like during the off season. It's like
They
a
mic him up.
documentary.
I gotta watch that.
Or they don't make them up. It's like a documentary of the off season for a couple teams, and so the Giants.
I want to watch that. That sounds like Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders.
Kinda.
Yeah, a
And
docu-series.
So like I don't know if he was the general manager or what, but he was like, "I won't be able to sleep if Saquon goes to Philly," and so now Saquon has been doing a bunch of ads for like
Don't sleep. You
NyQuil.
gotta stay up.
For
NyQuil, wait.
Yeah, or like
There's so
some,
much
like,
money in that. There's so much sports
sleeping
marketing.
agency.
I love that. Let's talk about sports marketing because actually let's not. Let's just not because I don't feel like it. Another name that I'm always hearing, and I think I recently said it, was Lamar Jackson from the
Yeah,
Ravens.
He's a good one.
You
too.
always hear about him. I only know this player because he's on the Commanders and he's a big deal, but Jaden Daniels,
Yeah,
he's
he's a
their
rookie.
quarterback and he's a rookie and he's done amazing. I bet he was a star in his hometown. You know,
God,
every hometown
certainly.
has one.
I always wonder that, like, because we ourselves had a hometown hero, as every hometown does. But what do you do when your hometown hero turns into an NHL hero?
NHL, like hockey?
Oh my God, sorry, NFL hero. What happens is when they actually make it to the big league. Imagine Saquon's fellow peers from his like high school graduating class. They're like, "Oh yeah,
I wonder. We should find them. If you went to high school with,
Saquon Barkley."
comment below. Crickets. But anyways, if you went to high school with him, tell us your thoughts. Was he not into academics and more into athletics aspect, or was he a socialite? Tell us.
And if you have anything bad to say, keep it to your motherfucking self, because I don't want to hear it.
Sunday trip.
But
Anyway.
also, I've seen that, like, he's just a great stand-up guy. No one
I
has
love
a bad
that.
thing to say about him.
I love that. Wait, you know what I think of when someone says someone's a stand-up guy?
What?
Is Lala Kent on Vanderpump Rules saying that Randall Emmett is just a stand-up guy. And he's like, accused of sexual assault. How great is he? All right. Anyways. Transitioning into pop culture news, or not even pop culture news, just culture news. If you have a phone, or if you have a brain, or if you have any semblance of connectivity to the online sphere, you will know that TikTok, world's most popular app, / the app that I produce some of this content on, something that really rises people to fame in the influencer sphere, went... What day did that happen?
January 19th.
Burned in my brain. January 19th.
Burned in my brain. What day did that happen?
It was literally like the rapture is coming on January 19th. Everybody gear up. It's coming. So we had to just consume the content to the maximum until we knew that it was going to go away. And I believed it at first. And what's weird is I'm such a frequent user of TikTok that I saw each pop-up notification of like their new update to sum up what's going on.
Yeah.
So at first it was saying, we're sorry, in the U.S. TikTok's not happening. Then I saw it was like, President Trump is doing everything he can. Meanwhile, it's January 19th. He's not the president yet. This is a PR campaign. As someone who knows PR, this is a stunt. This is to make him look good. And I'm not saying what political affiliation I have. I don't know, do with that what you will. But what I am saying is something's fishy. And it's a man wearing a toupee. Because I think that the next day, like 12 hours, I had already mourned the loss. I went to bed. I was scrolling Twitter. We had one night. And on that night, I was like, voraciously, I'm going to edit that out if that's wrong.
I don't know if that's a word. But
actively consuming Twitter as if it was 2017 and there was a subtweet battle. I was actively just refresh, because I really truly do, and I'm going to call it Twitter. Sorry, Elon Musk. I'm going to keep calling it Twitter because it was the blueprint and you had to be there. But I had to switch over to different platforms. You're welcome, Meta. And next morning, what do you know? I'm driving home because I'd had a weekend away with my family. I'm on the way home. My sister calls me. It's back! It's back! Like, I had felt like someone had been resuscitated, like a newborn baby had been saved. Like, Jesus he is risen indeed, because TikTok is back. It was insane. But I'm glad it's back, honestly. But am I?
I don't know. I was kind of happy that it was going away. In fact, I actually deleted it. Fun fact, you can't get it back. It's still off the App Store. So guess what my ass did? I pulled out the good old iPad, plugged it in for the first time in over a year. And when I went and opened up TikTok, thank God it's still there. I no longer have the 2 times function. So I gotta sit there with my
Why is that not on that? Because it's not updated on your iPad? I'm surprised you even had it on your iPad, because I don't even think I have TikTok on here.
Well, I guess a year ago I had the wherewithal to know that I wanted TikTok on the iPad too.
Fair.
I got every notification that I've gotten on TikTok in the past however long.
The iPad is always 10 beats behind. If I'm getting a text on my phone, it's going to come into the iPad 3 days later. But it's probably just in connection to the frequency of use. Mm-hmm. So that makes sense.
Even though I have TikTok still, having withdrawals on my phone, I can't even search through this way. I have to lie down and start typing. I'll search Tick, and it's like Ticketmaster.
Oh my God, not that godforsaken app.
Like, baby, we don't have a plane anymore.
No, baby,
there's no plane.
There's no plane. If you know, you know. Basically, what's that word when you're in between feelings?
Indifferent.
No? I care. What is it? You're like torn, but not torn. I saw a girl brought to life. She was warm, she came around. She was dignified.
Tell me what
I just am thinking of One Direction in those gaudy outfits.
Used to cry. The conversation has run dry. And that's what's going on. Nothing's right, I'm torn. I'm all out of faith. This is how I feel.
Yeah.
That is a
Do you think you
good
get copyrighted for singing that? Similarly to how the Toast got copyrighted for singing Friday in the opening Friday episodes and Rebecca Black came for their throat. I hope not.
Unsimilarly to the Toast, I think we do not have the viewership.
That is true. But you know what we do have? Potential. Moving on.
Moving on. In all seriousness, now that I'm like going to the phone and I can't help but like search for TikTok and I'm met with no results, what did we do as a society before TikTok?
We went on Vine.
I just feel
But
like
then they did that whole shebang with us, which is why I was already preconditioned to expect it, to be more okay with it. I had already experienced this emotion before where they took away the 6-second Vine app, video app.
they did do that to us. But
Which
we
was
were
the
already
blueprint.
done with Vine.
When did they take that away?
But we as a society had moved past Vine before they took it away from us. Like, no one was on anymore.
What did we
killed
do on our
Vine.
phones back then?
We were on our phones less, is the truth of the matter.
What did we do before bed? Like, I still was on my phone before bed.
TV.
Always.
Netflix used to be like my shit.
We
Like,
can't watch TV anymore.
We can't. Our attention spans have been diminished to less than a goldfish. And like I used to watch like Pretty Little Liars before bed, Gossip Girl
Too
before
scary.
bed. Now I have to play games as I watch my shows. The shows are just a audio experience, and then I have to play my games.
I've always been a multitasker in the way that I have ADHD or not. I don't have I'm not hyper, so it's ADD, attention deficit. Teachers tried to tell my parents in school. They didn't want to believe it. I got older. It manifested as other problems. Long story short, this has been a thing for me. So I'll always be doing something on the side, whether it is like doing my nails or painting. I've gotten into art lately. But what I found is that I can't be captivated by TV unless it is one of 3 shows. Are you ready? 1, Southern Charm.
Never
On
seen
Bravo. You have to. Oh my
I know,
God.
it needs to
It's
be
a gold.
mine
You shouldn't have
next.
even watched Vanderpump Rules. You should have watched Southern Charm
Guess
first.
what? I've never seen Vanderpump Rules.
I've been referencing Vanderpump Rules with you, thinking that you were a consumer this entire time, like mentioning Lala Kent.
Here's the thing. I am so aware of all pop culture happenings at all time that you can reference anything and I'll know about it. I
like
just
that.
may not have consumed it. I know exactly who Lala Kent is. I know who Shep is from Southern Charm.
Yep.
Obviously, I know Craig.
Love.
The Paige DeSorbo breakup. I know
Did
it
we
all.
talk about this?
We haven't.
And on that note, we're going to get back to the other 2 shows I was referencing, but I would like to talk about the Paige DeSorbo and Craig breakup while we're here. This is for Bravo consumers only, so if you find yourself
God, this is so
uninterested in this topic, I would like for you to tap, tap, tap on the 15, I think it's 15 seconds to go forward. Just keep tapping until you hear something of any sort of,
Like, oh, this sounds like a different topic.
this sounds like they've moved on. I want to touch on 2 breakups.
Okay.
First of all, Craig and Paige dated for only 3 years.
Yeah.
But when you date at 35 for 3 years,
Yeah.
there's this assumption, which has to be a lot of pressure. And being someone who's about to turn 25, I know it's not a big deal, and I know I'm not that old, but there's something inherently sad about a birthday after 21 to me. I just get personally affected by a birthday.
I actually think 25 is the last birthday where it's not sad anymore. That's what my parents said to me.
Because if you're 26, you round up.
As
But
I
if you're
turn
25, you can
25.
still round down.
yeah. My parents took me out for dinner on my 25th birthday, and they're like, I remember my 25th birthday. It was kind of the last one I found exciting. I said, oh, thanks.
Isn't that sad, though, that you're
It
supposed to
is.
just, like, dread getting older? I see a good
I
example
don't.
in my parents. They are very
Yeah.
happy in their age. They are confident. They've done well in their career. They've established a family. They've done the things that are on the checklist. But I think for our generation, there's been a shift to the point where, like, I don't know if those fundamental aspects and milestones are in the cards for me.
I think as long as you don't hold all of your value in your life in youth, then you will inherently still continue to find joy year after year and find progress and find like more value in,
That's so true.
you know, like, because the only thing that you have that's at its best right now, like, is your youth. So as long as that's not the only thing that you hold like near and dear to your heart, of course you're gonna like get better with age.
But what is your youth?
Your youth
Your
is,
effervescence?
I also think looks, like, we don't have wrinkles right now. We're a
Speak
bit
for yourself.
we're a bit like perkier in area.
Have
As long
sort
as
of
you don't
an,
hold like all of your value there and all of, you know, what you think makes you a
worthy or
person.
successful individual.
Yeah. Like, I plan on just getting wiser. I plan on hopefully getting wealthier. I plan on my relationships becoming more fulfilling. I plan on having a family of my own. And I think that's like something to look forward to. I don't have that right now, so.
I saw a quote recently and it was like, I could never get too excited about my accomplishments because they were an obligation.
I also didn't relate to that. I've always
I
been
do.
excited when I like do something because it was like something that I wanted to do for myself, I thought.
I think that for me and a lot of people, I think it's sort of like the culture of maybe where we grew up in our parent family style is like, if you're successful in something, it's an expectation rather than a one-off or just this rarity. It's more of, you've done it, congrats, what's next, is how I feel people treat things.
Huh. Maybe
I'm
you
tired
need
of
to
people
set
asking
more
what's
goals
next.
for yourself. And I don't even mean that like a set crazy goals. I set goals for myself daily. I'm going to do this today. And recently I got a paint by number. Whenever I finish
Love that.
that's going to be like a huge goal checked off the list.
Love that. So I guess just finding the joy in little tiny things, whether it be a hobby.
And that's not an obligation to complete that. There's no
That's
one
there's a
coming
difference
down,
between-
knocking down my door telling me I got to complete that paint by numbers.
I think that at each stage of your life, there's a different goal that's socially normal or accepted to be the norm of that age. So, for example, we're in our 20s. It's very career focused. Also, it can be very relationship focused because everyone thinks that once you turn 30, you better be settled down. There's that, and I hope I am, but there's that concept of having to be settled by then, and that's a little disorienting. The feeling of running out of time is such a scary thing because we know we have like a finite number of years on this earth, and we want to do all these things in the amount of time. And with that comes expectations, which feel like you have to fill these expectations to feel like you are deemed successful.
Get this. So you know how you're saying, like, I feel like people are telling me to settle down? I also have people in my ear being like, oh my god, you're so young. Don't be with him. So it's like no one is gonna...
Do people say that?
Yes. Well, specifically, some random stranger I met this weekend told me that. So
They don't know anything.
They don't know anything. Anyways, if you're in a relationship with someone for too long, people are telling you not to settle down with them. If you're not in a relationship at all, then you need to settle down. So I also just think, like, oh my god, we're on this earth one time. Take it day by day.
I feel
Kinda
weird
crazy.
thinking that my parents were ever my age.
I know.
Not weird, but I feel
And they did so much more than I did at this age. That's the one thing that
times
I'm
have
like,
changed. Times have changed.
They
So
really
are
have.
our kids supposed to be like extra losery because
don't
times have changed, but not in our favor. The odds are forever not in our favor. So are our kids going to be like, I don't know, the planet's going to be burnt up by then? Have they been saying that forever? Speaking of, do you ever see that clock where it's like 89 seconds to midnight? What does that mean? Like global warming?
Yeah.
Scared.
Until we can't go back.
And I believe them because if you compare 1924 to 2024 in terms of carbon emissions or whatever, we've increased rapidly and exponentially. I'm going to probably cut some of this, but I have something to say to you just like one-on-one is like, did you hear about recently how someone was saying that ChatGPT uses a lot of water?
Apparently ChatGPT uses like...
Because it gets so hot, computer would get hot if it's trying to summon a bunch of information. That worries me that I'm going to burn up the earth with my questions. I'd be like, please generate a response to an email that feels tricky. Anyways, what was the OG topic? TV shows?
Craig and... yeah. TV shows to Craig and Paige breakup. And we
Yes.
never ever touched on it.
Honestly, let's not even touch on Matt and Rachel because, no
I
offense,
think we still got a lot to learn there.
I think so too. I haven't listened to the Call Her Daddy episode.
I listened to it last night. It was an hour and 40 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah, crazy.
I'm going to listen to that during work tomorrow. We're referring to Matt, James, and Rachel Kirkconnell from The Bachelor. I think they were season 2019, 2020, 21, around then.
2020. It was mentioned on the podcast.
We're going to take a big swig before we start our next segment. I'm getting a little boozy on the pod. Some of you may know I recently went through a journey where I stopped all forms of THC. I no longer consume it in any way that it's produced. It's been a little over a month. All I have to say is life's a hell of a lot more boring. I miss feeling creative and more interested in the things that I'm doing. But I also respect the process of, you know, not relying on a substance. But I don't think alcohol counts. I don't know. We went on a tangent, but I'm probably going to edit all of that out because everything we said could be inherently problematic or perceived as troublesome. And I don't want to become famous one day, which will inevitably occur, and someone's going to dig it up and say, but she said this when she was 24 and you're old enough at 24 to... Okay, whatever. Long story short, moving on. Back to Southern Charm, the show that all started this conversation. You probably don't even know what the conversation is, but we're moving on.
We never touched on it.
We never did. We never did. But we talked about Paige and Craig. Moving on in the topic of Southern Charm, this season specifically, snooze fest.
You heard it here first, folks.
It's boring me, and I never feel that way about Southern Charm because it's the best piece of reality TV.
Watching it. I'm a Summer House girly myself.
You know what's crazy is I got bored of Summer House. On the note of Southern Charm, something that I found this season is that the cast is not giving pure hilariousness like it did season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Got it.
For starters, bring back Cameron Eubanks. Bring back Chelsea. Can't remember her last name, but she was on Survivor.
Didn't Cameron get a DUI?
No.
Who did?
Catherine. With a K.
Yeah, there it is.
She was the best piece of reality TV I've ever watched. There's going to be no one like her. For example, before we move on, in season 1, there's this crazy breakup where Thomas Ravenel Bridge in Charleston, his family, rich man, got in trouble for cocaine trafficking, bit, tried to run for office of some sort in Charleston, just a really problematic man. He went after a 21-year-old girl, and they were dating. He's in his, 50s. This is an old man.
Is he, the old man on the show that I've seen clips of?
Probably.
Okay.
In season 1, Thomas is breaking up with Catherine on the last episode, and it goes to, you know, in the last season where it, gives you of the last season of a reality show, it'll give you a blurb about, what happened.
Freeze frame?
A freeze frame.
Yeah.
So they have this dramatic breakup. Everyone's crying. So sad. Boo-hoo. Black screen. 9 months later, baby crying. They had a kid. She was pregnant. Unreal TV. And their relationship is so tumultuous and back and forth and bizarre that you have to watch Southern Charm.
You sold me.
If you've never seen Southern Charm, start from the beginning. You have to watch it.
Yes, I am hopeful for today. That's the classic freeze frame song. Not for Bravo, but just
LOL. And on the note of Southern Charm, one more thing. Have you seen Southern Hospitality?
No.
So, it's essentially the same format as Southern Charm, but what it is the similar format to Vanderpump Rules, where all of these people are working as bottle girls in a nightclub.
Yeah,
they all are young. They're in Charleston. It's called The Republic or Republic. For sure. I love Bravo. Please hire me. I'm TV gold. Anyways,
she really is.
Please, I'm begging. I have so much potential. It's limitless.
MTV.
I'm gonna get a boob job, a few other cosmetic surgeries, and then I'm gonna be ready for the big stage. Anyways, moving on. Southern Hospitality is a great show, and you need to watch it. Okay. All these people are young enough to be making mistakes, so it's hilarious and very good TV. Really enjoyable, giving the same effect as Vanderpump Rules, where these people are just broke and funny. Okay, great show. Another show that I know you've watched, thankfully, because I think you put me on, is Traitors.
Yeah, I do be watching Traitors.
Have you seen all seasons?
All seasons, all episodes. I'm caught up.
Oh my god. So I've only seen season 2 and 3. I'm caught up with season 3. New episode Thursday.
Understand.
But I haven't seen season 1 because I saw that it's a bunch of randos casted.
So it's half normal people and half reality stars, but Suri...
Love
is on season 1, and so is Kyle.
Kyle Cook's on it?
Yeah.
No way. Okay, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it.
And that was my introduction to Kyle.
I'm glad they did away with the randos, because obviously you're gonna want the randos to have the money over the reality stars because they're getting money regardless.
And I think that was the problem with the first season. I don't want to spoil literally anything, but just the ending.
I already know how it ends. I already Googled it.
Oh, okay. The ending is a bit ooh. Picture that, but as a TV show ending, but I actually thought you've seen the second season?
Yes.
I thought the second season's ending was way shadier.
We're not going to talk about it, but we will off camera.
Yeah.
Let's explain the premise of Traitors for people who have never seen it.
Good idea.
What this show is how many people
Mafia.
do you think?
Do you know the like card game Mafia that you play like at the end of EOGs?
The smart kids played that.
Sorry.
I was smart, but not that smart.
I was one of the smart kids. But
yeah,
basically,
but I've heard rumblings.
So everyone sits around a table, and I'm gonna like just say it for the purposes of Traitor, not Mafia. I'm just gonna use Traitor right now. But all these people come to a castle. They sit around a table, and the host goes. Everyone has their blindfolds on. The host goes around, and he taps on 2 to 4 people's shoulder. And those people are the traitors for the rest of the game, the entire duration of the game. And those traitors are trying to make it through to the end of the game without being found out that they're traitors. The rest of the castle are faithfuls, and they are trying to discover the traitors. However, they have to vote someone out every single night. Whether or not they are correct, that person is banished, even if they are a faithful. So there's a lot on the line, and every night the traitors kill off a faithful.
A lot of hearsay, a lot of drama, and it gets personal, which makes it for good TV.
People cry. Like, these real-ass people who were, like, really hard as stone. I mean, these are survivors. These are real housewives. These are...
Speaking of survivors, there's this girl named Chanel Ion who is on this... I don't know if that's how you say her name, but she was on Real Housewives of Dubai, and she was on this recent season of Traitors. She got voted out pretty early, unfortunately too early to really...
Not voted, right? Killed. Yes, killed. There's a difference.
There is. So she didn't get to play to the full extent, but she thought that when people were saying that they were survivors, that they survived like... She was like, I thought they survived like droughts, malaria.
She was like, I thought they survived what I survived.
But no, they were just on a TV show named Survivor, and she had never heard of it, which was hilarious.
Yeah.
But anyways, that show right now, it has me in a chokehold, and new episodes come out Thursday. But I'll tell you one thing I don't like is when...
The 9 p.m.?
I can accept a 9 p.m. release because I like to stay up late. But something I won't accept or stand for is a TV show that comes out once a week. Example, Severance.
And let me tell you, Severance is so fucking good, but I did watch season 1.
I have more questions than answers.
Yeah, I watched season 1 all at once, so I wasn't like...
Me too.
Combing through looking for stuff.
Me too.
Now I'm watching season 2 episode drop by episode drop, and
Same.
let me tell you,
I want more.
I see these TikTok theories that completely make sense.
I've been reading Reddit theories.
I'm following. But as I'm watching the show, over the head, I'm not picking up on anything.
I don't think they want you to, but I understand that, like, I've been reading Reddit theories because I want so much more of this show that I'm having to seek other sources. Genuinely, one of the best shows I've seen in a really long time. To sum it up for the people that haven't viewed, it's on Apple TV. Unfortunately, I had to get an Apple subscription, but it was 3 months free.
It's also
I did that.
it. It's worth it. This show is the best show that I've seen in a really long time.
Me too. It's
It
gripping.
also is like reminding me that I lack media literacy. Like, I used to have it. I used to watch like Pretty Little Liars and come up with theories and like da-da-da-da-da.
Come on, we're Taylor Swift fans. We know a theory.
Yeah, we know a theory or two, but I gotta like lock in because I think, like I said, I'd be playing games while I'm watching TV on my phone.
I don't do anything else when I'm watching that. Example, why this is in the top 3 of things that I'm not on my phone for. The
Good
shows
one.
that we're talking about.
Yeah. No, this is like an awesome show, and you'll have to watch it if you don't. Kat, explain the premise of the show, please.
So, to explain Severance on Apple TV to you, there's this procedure that individuals can undergo where they can get their brain severed so that one half of them will go to work during the day and know nothing about their outside work. This is called their innie. The innie is in the work world. They know nothing about the outside sphere. They don't have windows at work. They have a 9 to 5. They just know their co-workers from that. But they have no connection to their outer world. The outer version of them that isn't at work is called the outie, and that's the real life personality that they embody and portray. So we find that their company that they're employed by, which is called Lumen, seems to be a little shady.
It's very much the USSR in the 80s. Would you agree?
Ooh, I think I'm not intelligent enough to understand that comparison.
Okay.
But let's talk about this later.
Okay.
Because I'm interested. Tell me.
It's giving like a communist regime, and like that is what it's trying to embody, is sort of like...
You don't think there's hierarchies with power?
No, it is.
I guess that's how...
But the world that they're trying to display is very much so Karl Marx. Socialism. They're trying to pull from the themes of one guy trying to distribute a system down. Keir thing is supposed to be a comparison to Karl Marx.
Interesting.
I actually would have to Reddit this. Yes. Basically, for all intents and purposes, they are one person, but their consciousnesses are like two separate entities. So it's either one or the other. It's similar to like one of those pens, 4 different colors in it, and you pop one out, but you can never get 2 to come out. You can try to push them out at the same time.
It's a great analogy.
One will always be out and the others will be in. The one subconscious is dormant while the outie is on the outside version, and the other one's dormant when the innie's on the inside version.
Love it. Obsessed with that analogy, and I will clip this for TikTok. Moving on, outside of the realm of TV
But really
shows,
good show. Like, really good show.
Really excellent show. We recommend it. I think that you should watch Traitors for a good, easy watch. Severance if you want to be challenged mentally. Mentally challenged. But if you want to, be perplexed, if you want to be bamboozled
you
or
want to
puzzled.
think, practice your media literacy.
Yeah. Define media literacy for me.
Media literacy is being able to take a piece of media and analyze it and not just take it for what it is as it's coming to you and really understand it. And use the subcontext to give it a deeper meaning.
Going back to something we've previously talked about that segues from this topic is Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni with the It Ends With Us continuation of the saga of the drama. We're
Correct.
hardly going to touch on this because it is so exhaustive and
But we
annoying.
did touch on it back in the day.
We did,
So
but we didn't
wanna
have established thoughts.
Follow up.
Following up, I'd like you to take the reins and tell me what are your thoughts on both point of views from where it stands.
Sure.
And sum up the lawsuit that you know of.
Sure. So following up, as a refresh course, Kat and I came to the conclusion that we didn't have enough information at the time, an actual opinion on whose side we were on. And I'm glad we didn't because, spoiler alert, if you want a minute into the future, I still don't know what side I'm on. I think that, in fact, if I were to decide, I'm on neither side.
We can exist in that.
We can. I mean,
we don't have to be on a side.
Blake Lively came out with a formal complaint against her boss in the context of this legal matter, Justin Baldoni, saying that he harassed her. I don't know if she said harassment or sexual harassment, but she was giving...
It was deemed sexual harassment.
Okay, she was giving examples of instances that made her uncomfortable and made her file for this complaint. She had to file a complaint and not a lawsuit because he is, in the context, a boss. So then he claps back with...
What's a complaint, if not legal? I could complain about anything.
It's a filed complaint, like a filed legal complaint, as opposed to a lawsuit.
Who's filing it?
Blake and her team.
Whose shelf is it going in? If not the law.
It is it's just...
Like a police report?
Yeah, it's going into, the court's documents.
The database.
She just couldn't go right into filing a lawsuit.
Okay.
She has to first prove it with, a claim, which is the complaint.
Okay.
I'm taking all of this from TikTok and what I've read.
Which is the most reputable news source there is.
So then Justin, being the superior, I guess, in this instant, does not have to respond with a complaint. He was able to clap back with a lawsuit. And that's...
Okay, this is actually making so much sense to me that you're presenting it this way. So he's suing her and the New York Times.
Yes.
For $400 million.
Yeah.
Does she have that money? If you get sued for such a big amount of money, what do you do? That's a lot of money.
You gotta win. That's what you gotta do.
But what if you lose? You just go into debt?
Yeah, you give him that money.
And then you just... You live out back? What happens if you lose all that money? They're not asking you to hand it over right then and there if you lose. Right? You could pay it in increments? I don't know.
Yeah, they're asking you to give over what you can, which is why they'll probably start creating some offshore accounts and putting money in different places. And
Isn't that illegal?
Yes. And maybe selling some houses to friends that they could make back.
Is that what's happening?
I don't know. This is, oh my God, allegedly.
Yeah, this is all alleged, but this is what you would do in the case.
Yeah, this is what, allegedly, this is what I would do. But anyway, so then Justin claps back with the lawsuit. We have yet to hear from Blake of any of these claims, but Blake's complaint was fully thought out, and these were all the instances. So now Justin has been slowly but surely releasing evidence that disputes her claim. But hot take, I don't think the evidence Justin is releasing necessarily
is disputing her claim.
Her claim was that he said she smelled good.
Why is she complaining about that?
Yeah.
Get
his
a grip.
video, he said in his defense,
You don't smell bad.
I didn't say she smelled good. She said she was wearing a spray tan. So then I said, no, you don't smell bad. You smell good. The video evidence showed that she wasn't talking about her spray tan in the context of smell. She was just saying like, oh, I'm sticky because of my spray tan or something like that. And then he goes, no, you smell good.
Why is that even a complaint?
It's just a miscommunication, and they both hate each other. And you know how when someone starts to annoy you, everything they do starts to annoy you? So this is just like a classic case of people who lived together for way too long that didn't like each other, and then they write down everything that annoys you, and by the end they start writing down like
the dumbest crap.
The dumbest fucking shit. And
Absolutely.
So the evidence proves neither of them right because they're both wrong. They're both taking this from,
is there a way where neither of them would be awarded money in this scenario? Or losing money? It just gets wiped?
They could both owe each other money, I think. Like the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard thing, I think they both ended up owing
ironically,
each other money.
that is who Justin Baldoni's lawyers are the same people who were in the case for Johnny Depp. Which I find interesting.
That is interesting.
Long story short, my point of view as not knowing all the facts is I respect anyone who has the guts to speak up in regards to any sexual harassment and or assaults. With that being said, obviously, I will always believe anyone who comes forward with a complaint formally. With also that being said, after reading the documents, do I think that these were things that I could brush off? Maybe. Do I think that I would just be like, whatever, this loser, I can't wait to just like shake him off and never see him again? I think it would have been best for Blake Lively's image to just nip it in the bud, get the money from the movie and dip and never see this Joker again. Yes. But do I also think she has a right to complain about things that are irritating to her or she found that were a hindrance to the workplace? Yes. But do I also feel sympathy for someone if they are accused of something they didn't do? Do I think that they have the right to defend themselves? Yes. So that's the most PC answer I could concoct. I obviously have thoughts and opinions, but in the case that I ever become famous and somebody digs this up, you'll know that I was on the right side of history and I was on both sides. So long story short,
both sides, the right side.
The right side is whoever fits the narrative. So until more information comes out where I can have a definitive thought on this, I'm not going to have any thoughts. And this is still as stands 2 months ago in our previous podcast. We don't have any developments because...
D-I-double-T-O. Ditto.
Ditto. Anyways. In the realm of pop culture, a big event is coming up, which is the 2025 Grammys. And when is it coming up?
This weekend?
If it's this weekend, I'm going to have a full-on party.
Chapel Roan posted something today.
When is the Grammys?
67th Annual Grammy Awards is on Sunday, February 2nd, starting at 8 p.m.
Sunday.
Eastern Time.
All right, y'all. Scratch that. We got to start planning a party.
Yeah, we're going to have a Super Bowl party. If it's on Sunday, we can actually get together for this. We don't have to worry about everybody leaving the base to go out, to go to the bars at night. Sundays, we're locked in. It's a school night. We work the next day. So we're going to be sitting on the couch watching the Grammys.
My beef with the Grammys is I need more awards. I understand it's a musical event and they want performances, but I could watch these people perform like literally on YouTube.
Wait, I feel the opposite.
I think I'll be particularly interested this year because I'm loving the nominees.
So we're on Grammy.com. I just wanted to cite my source. Actually, I'm going to pull up NPR because I feel like this is going to be more concise and I don't have to read.
That's my girl. Sorry, she just showed Chapel. Like, I need her to win something. She deserves recognition.
She deserves
for what she has done to change, like, revamp the music industry.
Hence our last episode being called Phenomenon.
Yes, like, what she has done is equivocal, in my opinion, to the Lady Gaga of 2007, 2008. Really revamped pop in a way that hadn't been in a while.
So what we're going to do is I'm going to read all of the Record of the Year nominees, and we're going to say what we want to win versus what we think will win. I'm going to read them all now, and you're going to mull on those thoughts.
Yep.
Record of the Year. Now and Then by the Beatles. No offense, thank you for your contribution, but where's One Direction's Justice for all these years? Oh yeah, something really horrible and terrible happened to the band.
God.
But before we go into this, could you explain what a record is?
So the difference between Record of the Year and the Song of the...
The difference between record and album.
record is a singular song, album is the album as a whole, but there is record of the year and song of the year.
What is the difference between record of the year and song of the year for the Grammys?
The Record of the Year award is presented to the performer and/or production team of a single song of other than the performer. The Song of the Year award is presented to the songwriters of a single song.
Okay.
This answer is from Wikipedia.
Thank you. So record is production, Jack Antonoff type vibes. Song is like the Taylor Swifts.
Okay.
So lyrics. Song, lyrics, record, production, poppy type vibe.
Period. So song of the year. We're talking production value.
Song of the year, we're talking lyrics.
Okay. I missed the whole boat. So starting off with record of the year.
So this is production, people. We're talking production. We're talking bops, we're talking vibe.
Okay. So I'm going to go from the top to the bottom of
Okay.
listing.
Got it.
Now and Then by the Beatles. Texas Hold'em by Beyonce.
Okay.
Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter. 360 by Charlie XCX. Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish. Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar.
They not like us. Got it? Okay.
Good Luck Babe by Chappell Roan. Fortnite by Taylor Swift featuring Post Malone.
Okay. I know who immediately I want to win. I think this is something that comes immediately.
I think
your one
I think
versus what you
I
think.
agree.
So who I want to win is Chappell. Good luck,
Babe.
That's what I want personally.
Do you feel that way in terms of production value?
Yes, I think that song in particular scratches an itch in my brain and like is new and it's fresh and
I listened to it and would play it out of my own accord.
yes,
I
I
think-
know what's going to win.
I think Fortnite will win.
I think Birds of a Feather will win.
I think I want Birds of a Feather to win maybe Song of the Year.
Is it nominated?
Yes.
I think that the
you did.
Grammys love Billy, so that's why I'm still locking that in for my answer.
But I also think that there's something to be said for Not Like Us with Kendrick Lamar being at the Super Bowl this year. And I think that the way that took over culture with the Drake beef,
yeah,
there's something to be said for the impact that had.
I'm still locking in. I'm loving this discussion.
But this isn't lyrically. This one
No.
is production.
I know.
So I think
I'm
lyrically
telling
could be Not
you,
Like Us.
the Grammys love Billy. They love her.
They love Taylor.
Yeah, but I don't think Fortnite is a winner, in my opinion.
I think we could have gotten more from a Post Malone Taylor Swift collab. And I'm not saying a synth pop beat. I'm saying Post Malone, Beer Bongs and Bentleys, Yellow Album era.
Yeah, a little bit of,
meets
like,
Taylor Swift
tonal.
1989.
Yeah.
Give me that or give me death. Moving on. I don't know if we made it clear, but we're moving on. So, Album of the Year. This is a big category, and I think we're going to do a couple more categories because I like this.
Yeah, okay.
Album of the Year. This man is always nominated for a Grammy, and I want to know what cahoots he has with the Academy.
I'm on the edge
with
of my
all
seat.
due respect to his catalog.
Okay.
Andre 3000, New Blue Sun.
I am familiar with this
And I'm going to look up on Spotify how many monthly listeners he has. Okay?
He's the one that had the collab with Bruno.
Couldn't tell you. But
Bruno.
let's see it. Andre 3000. Are you kidding me?
Does he have a lot?
1.5 million listeners. That's not a lot.
That's not a lot.
We're going to offend someone. In my sphere of being very knowledgeable about pop culture and its different types of categories and realms, I'm not well versed in Andre 3000, and I think that Cher Lloyd has a similar amount of monthly listeners as Andre 3000. Where is her Grammy?
One Direction still has 43 million monthly listeners.
So let's
in case
talk
you were
about
wondering.
it. Let's talk about it.
And by the way, One Direction has 43 million monthly listeners. Olivia Rodrigo has 46 million, to like give you an idea of how relevant One Direction remains.
With that being said, Sour, did you know that Trader almost has 2 billion listens?
That's crazy.
I noticed that the other day because I've listened to it maybe 2 billion times. So, anyways, interesting to know that he only
Olivia
has
can send
1.5
Kat a
billion.
check.
Yeah. You
And
can
the
do a Tupelo
Beatles,
check.
speaking of that, Now and Then by the Beatles, 32.5 million. So wait.
Whoa.
Why Or One Direction and the Beatles always held in like such different regards. When One
I don't
Direction,
think they're held in different regards. I think that it's a time frame thing.
I feel like the Beatles are way more respected than One Direction.
Oh, absolutely.
People respect Beatles listeners way more than they respect One Direction listeners.
I think that you're cooler objectively if you listen to the Beatles than you are if you listen to One Direction. Example, I listen to One Direction over the Beatles. Moving on. Co Carter by Beyonce. Is that the name of the album?
Cowboy Carter.
Why does it say co and undercase?
Feel
Undercase.
like it
Lowercase.
is maybe a typo or maybe needed the character limit, maybe.
Like, okay. Short and Sweet by Sabrina Carpenter. Huge contender.
I'm familiar with
Huge
it.
contender. Brat by Charlie XCX. Huge contender. The fact that I don't even know DJESSE Volume 4 by Jacob Collier.
Not familiar.
Can you look up Jacob Collier on Spotify for me?
Yes.
It might shock me.
He has 1.5 million listeners a month.
Who's he kissing in the Academy?
He looks like Jacob Sartorius. This is him, and kind of
Ring
like
light.
Griffin Gluck, if you're
Can I see?
familiar with him.
Is he British? Because I think he looks British.
Let's see.
Moving on, Hit Me Hard and Soft by Billie Eilish. The Rise and Fall of Midwest Princess by Chapel Roan.
Yeah,
and then
he's
The
English.
Tortured Poets Department by Taylor Swift. I have a few thoughts. I want to hear what you want to win.
Duh, I want the Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess to win.
I do too, but I don't think it will.
I think it could. I think she's
Taylor
getting,
will win.
You do. I don't think
I don't
she
want
will
her to win as a huge Swiftie. And I think that's okay to say.
I think Billie has a chance for sure. I think Short and Sweet has a chance. Brina and Chapel are nominated for New Artist this year. That's
No way.
Yeah, that's going to
But
be
you
a
get
tough
Album
category.
of the Year too?
You can, for sure. Also, it could be possible that Beyonce finally wins her Album of the Year because of all conversations around that in the past couple of years of Beyonce having the most albums but never winning Album of the Year. They might finally give her flowers.
I think I Am Sasha Fierce should have won a Grammy, did it?
Yeah, I think she's won Grammys for like every album,
not
just
her
never
time
the
to me.
Album of the Year. I don't disagree with that. I did actually really enjoy that album. I think that, what's that song with Miley?
I knew you were going to say this. I can't remember, but Miley wrote it, which I love Miley.
I think that might be my favorite song of the year.
Who
too.
picks this?
The Grammy Academy. Sometimes those Andre 3000s and Jacob Collier's win it.
I don't think it'll win Album of the Year. No.
Remember when Beck
Yes.
won?
Yes. And I feel bad for those people. Honestly, why am I feeling bad for you if you won a Grammy? I think that here's the contenders.
I don't think
Let's
Short
be
and
real.
Okay, I don't think Short and Sweet wins actually. I'm taking that one out.
Wow.
I think Chapel, Billie, Taylor, or Beyonce. That's literally half of the people, but like y'all will know if I'm wrong. Like I put myself out there at least.
You're crazy because I think it'll be between Brat, Tortured Poets Department, and then Billie, Hit Me Hard and Soft.
Okay, so we both.
But I also think that Billie could be overlooked because this album, other than Birds of a Feather, didn't make huge waves. Went platinum in my house.
I've actually only know Birds of a Feather. I just love that song.
So let's acknowledge that.
Yeah.
Moving
but I
on.
think the same thing about Brat. Brat went platinum, TikTok households, but it didn't actually make too many waves.
You don't think?
The real world, I believe.
I think Brat needs to be acknowledged for being.
I
I think it could on. It's a contender. I think.
Brat is winning Best Dance Pop Album for sure.
Oh.
I mean, there's no question.
Let's give
there.
it that.
Yeah.
Song of the Year, and this is important.
Songwriting, by the way, as we learned together.
Texas Hold'em.
You skipped one.
I'm starting at the bottom up because I was tired of reading from the top down. I'm like, let's switch it up. Texas Hold'em. Please, please, please. Not Like Us. Good Luck, Babe. Fortnite. Die with a Smile. Birds of a Feather, and a bar song. I have so many thoughts.
I do too.
I think we could start with what do we want to win, and I am going to say Birds of a Feather for what I want to win personally.
Okay. I am going to say that I want, and this is only because like I want her to get her flowers, and I've already said this somewhere else. I want Please 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 to win.
Oh, wow.
I loved that song. I do think it's clever. I think it had a really sweet tone to it. I think it expresses the kind of longing that you want when you want your new love to
But
be
you
accepted.
know that there's the dark
You
side.
know there's trouble in the water, and you're still okay, and you're still going to move forward with it. I also think
but it's noted.
Yeah, but it's noted.
I respect your choice. What I think will win is Birds of a Feather,
I think Birds of a Feather will win, yeah.
which I'm okay with because it's what I want to win.
I actually think that we have our two winners in this Record of the Year, Song of the Year, Birds of a Feather, Good Luck Babe, and I'm curious to see where it pans out. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, they're both nominated in both categories, and I think those are our two winners.
Yes, but I don't think Taylor will not get any Grammys.
Fair enough. It's
So I
happened
think
before,
that Taylor
but
could get Record of the Year or Album of the Year. I don't know. I still am confused. I think that Tortured Poets Department needs to be formally recognized with Taylor coming off of Time 2023 or whatever, Person of the Year 2024.
but she had won the Album of the Year that year. So she kind of like
She
already-
has to win something
You think?
for her impact. I mean, she's the #1 global Spotify artist.
Yeah.
I don't think she should have nominated Fortnite.
But can I say something? And
think
this
the al-
isn't just about Taylor and the Grammys, but I'm over these Lifetime Achievement Awards. I hate how the Oscars in the past 10 years have just turned to giving people that have been nominated for the most but have never won, instead of actually winning for the
I think we-
performance that they've given in the movie that was nominated.
That's fair. But I think there's something to be said for Leonardo DiCaprio not ever winning things, but being a stellar actor.
Yeah, but
And I also think
but the
that
awards are for the movie, not for their career.
what is it about the movies that are nominated that sucks so much?
I don't know. Let's talk about that. But actually, let's not get too far on a tangent. If you think, and I'm the biggest Swiftie there is, if you think Fortnite is a better song than Good Luck Babe, stand up. Stand up and tell me why. There is no
Get on a chair,
reason-
stand up, elevate yourself.
There is no reason why she should win over Chapel. And that's my that is my truth as someone who saw both of those girls live this year in the same month.
I don't think Fortnite will win, but I think that the Tortured Poet. I do agree with everything you had to say, and I think this is a pretty good conclusion on our Grammys story. I think that it's to be determined. Rumor has it it's coming on
Sunday.
February 2nd on Sunday, and I actually genuinely do want to watch it. I want to
we
go
should
somewhere
wa-
we can hear it too.
Yeah.
No sports bars.
Even if you call it love.
But if it's Sunday, I mean, there's not going to be any sports on because the Super Bowl is on when? When's the Super Bowl?
Next Sunday.
Thank
I'll be
God
in
we get
Philly.
a little bit off. No way, really?
Yeah.
Wait, really? That's so fun. Anyways,
It's 18 minutes away.
what time is it right now?
8:45. I'm going.
Let's
home.
go.
No.
No, come on. Please, please, please. Let's go to the movies.
Please,
Really, please.
No, I can't.
Why? What? We don't have to go to bed. No one's parents are putting us into bed. We don't have school in the morning. We have jobs. We work every single day. We don't have to hold ourselves to such standards. You
But
already
I'm like-
canceled your workout class. Let's go to the movies. We're going to the Cinemark. Please.
No, we're going to the AMC Carolina Pavilion.
And we're going right now because it's 18 minutes away, and we're currently 15 minutes away, but that sets a little bit of time for previews. I'm going.
But then will you drop me off at home
Of course.
after? Okay.
We're going to see the movies. We're going to the movies, and we're going to get a popcorn. Whoa.
Going to the movies at 9 p.m. on a school night. Out. Going to a 5:30 a.m. workout class.
Out denying doing things past 8:30 p.m. because you have a job. We work every day of our lives until we're 65. Let's go to a movie on a school night.
I want to be so clear that I'm falling asleep in the recliner chair.
No, we can only hope they have recliners.
It's
Anyways,
ever
thank you guys for being a part of this journey.
No
Anything
grins
you
and
have to say?
gripes.
We have to go to the theater.
Grins, Chapel Roan. Gripes,
Andre 3000.
and Jacob Collier.
No offense, I'm sure they deserve their flowers, but 1.5 million, like I said, where's Cher Lloyd's flowers? Give Cher Lloyd her flowers. Listen to her new song, Head Down, on Spotify. It's about her journey through X Factor, and she deserves her flowers. All of her songs are bops. And also, listen to the podcast she was recently on. I love Cher Lloyd. Thank you, guys.
Now I'm going to sing Shy Lord by Shy Lord.